Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Sunday, April 18th, 2021. Today I'm going to give you a recap of the last 3 days while I was at the Englishtown swap meet, the spring swap meet for 2021. So I'm going to show you some pictures that basically show a little bit of what's going on and how the event went down. Sadly, last year, the event was canceled because of COVID. In this picture here, you can see I'm using my bright green wagon for the first time. And as you can see, I did quite well. The very first thing I picked up when I got to this swap meet was a set of 1966 Ford Bronco hubcaps, which are extremely desirable and hard to get. That's the first set of those I've ever had. Here I am with my friend Scott, just arriving. There's another wagon load I had. Here you can see people are just setting up, and it's just actually starting because this picture was taken midday Friday. There Scott is looking at some collector license plates. The Englishtown swap meet has a little bit of everything for everybody. It used to be predominantly auto parts. However, over the years, you can see it has grown to just about everything. This year, there were a lot of people selling toys. For instance, model car kits, Hess toy trucks, die-cast models, and as you can see, a little bit of everything. There was also a lot of shop equipment and just about everything you would want. That's me. And let me tell you something, it was freezing out all 3 days. I'm telling you, in the past, this time of year, the middle toward the end of April, we have been there in t-shirts and actually sweating. This time, as you can see, we were wearing winter clothes, and the temperature stayed in the 40s with a cold, biting wind, and it was so cold that I had windburn on Friday. That's another load for me. Another load for me. By the way, we rented a pickup truck, as we always do. That is basically Friday's load right there for me. You can see this I took on the way home. Nothing but clouds. I'm telling you something, guys. I've been going to this event for many years, and this was the worst weather we've ever encountered. 3 straight days of nothing but clouds and on and off rain, cold temperatures, and a biting wind. This was Saturday, the next day. I do believe, yep. Saturdays. You can see the clouds are still present. People are dressed warmly. Oh, let me go back. I want to show you something. This, for the first time, is a line of people waiting to get in. The admission booth is over here, and it was $12 admission per person. This is the first time in my life I've ever seen such a long line to get in, both with vehicles and people waiting on foot to get in. This is once we were in. That's a look at the line that I just told you about. Look at these people. People were just desperate because, like I said, there was no swap meet last year, and everybody wanted to get in and just, basically spend the day. This was Saturday. A lot of little kids on bicycles were at this event, and that's not unusual, but it became a little bit of a problem on Saturday because it got so crowded, and you really have to be careful that you're not banging into other people. I had to be careful myself because I was pulling that large cart loaded with merchandise, and I had to be careful that I wasn't swinging into anybody. As bad luck would have it, a little kid, about the age of the kid you see in the picture there, was riding his bicycle and apparently not looking where he was going. And as he goes around a turn, he looks to the left instead of looking straight, and he goes full speed into my friend Scott. and both of them go flying to the ground. That's another shot of my cart. Dogs also were in attendance at the Englishtown swap meet. You can see basically everything was represented. Men, women, kids, dogs, everything but sun. We cannot get a sunny day, and none are predicted. You can see people specialize in taillights as well, and we purchased a few taillights for resale. Certain ones are hot sellers, but you really have to know what to look for. You can see right there, dark, pendulous clouds. And the buyers were out in full strength. Let me tell you something. Now, there are two type vendors at these events. Type number one is the nice guy vendor. He might have an item that's worth $100, and he probably doesn't even know it's worth $100. And you ask him how much he wants, and let's say he'll say $20, which is a very good price. And sometimes you can even dicker with them and act like you don't want the item, and they'll even go down on the price. Some people were really nice and friendly to deal with, and quite a few of them recognized me and said something like, "I remember you from last year. You bought a lot of items from me. Just make a pile of what you want, and I'll give you a great deal." And I love those people. However, conversely, there were the dickheads, if I may use that term. I'm going to tell you a few stories about some of the dickheads that I ran into. Thankfully, there were more nice guy sellers than dickheads, but there was this one guy that had some items laid out, and he had these 4 hubs that I was interested in. So I said, "How much do you want for these?" He said $30. And I said, "Well, you know, I really can't go that much. I'm willing to go 20. And he said, "No, no, no. I remember you vividly from last year. You come here every spring and every fall and constantly try and beat me on the price. There's no way I'm lowering the price for you because I know you want to make money on these items." And I was like, man, give me a break already. But thankfully, there were not too many guys like that. They also sold model car kits, and by the tons. There were several displays like this one you can see with all the model car kits available. And of course, in the background, you can see the trademark New Jersey gray sky. That's another wagon load for me. Let me tell you, that wagon was heavy to pull when it was fully loaded. Now here's a little interesting story here, and I decided to take this picture because there's a lot going on here. The older man on the right owns a 1957 Chevy, and he was looking to buy some Chevy parts from the vendor who's the man on the left with the baseball hat. And I was watching these two guys dickering back and forth, and I could see the guy on the left was not too agreeable with lowering his prices. But I decided to wait till he was done dickering with the older man because I wanted to jump in, and I was interested in these Chevy dog dish caps right here on the bottom right. Now, as you can see, they're filthy dirty. They're not pristine, but if the price is right, I'm going to snap them up, I'm going to clean them up, and I'm going to resell them. Okay? So I waited till it was my turn, and I said to my friend who was behind me, I said, I have a bad feeling about this guy. He's not going to want to deal with me. So I asked him how much he wanted for the Chevy dog dish caps, and to my chagrin, he wanted $75. Balls of steel. Those are not worth $75, all dirty and in that condition. These swap meets are basically geared to people who are looking for a good price and a bargain. Now, normally I try and bargain with people when they hit me with a price that I can't afford, but when he's starting that high, I know for a fact he's not going to go down anywhere near the price that I want to pay. So I just had to abandon ship right then and there. Thankfully, there were not too many guys like this, but you can actually spot somebody by the way they lay out their merchandise. If everything is really super neat, that's usually a warning sign that the guy wants top dollar. But when things are basically in buckets or milk crates or piled haphazardly, that's a guy you can usually get a good deal from. But I'm telling you something, this guy here was not in a dealing mood. Half of the racetrack was completely swampland, muddy, and just flooded out. I took this picture as a random shot, but let me tell you something, it was a mud hole. So yeah, this basically represents the Englishtown swap meet for spring 2021. Guys, I really enjoyed myself at the swap meet. It was a lot of work. Let me tell you something. 3 days of work. Now, in case you're thinking about going, you're going to think, what day is the best day to go? Well, each day has a positive and negative aspect. Friday is good because in one sense, you're going to see some choice items that people haven't seen yet, okay? Now, conversely speaking, on Friday, a lot of the sellers are less willing to bargain on their prices because they think they still have Saturday and Sunday to deal, and they might not want to come down to the price you want to pay. Also, a lot of vendors don't even go on Friday. They wait to set up on Saturday because they know the main crowd comes down Saturday and Sunday, which is true. Now, as I said, Saturday was the busiest day of the 3. That's the day I saw the most crowds, and a lot of items I saw Friday were not there Saturday because people then bought them. But there were people like the guy I showed you earlier with those Chevy dog dish who still had their items there on Saturday because they were asking unreasonable money, just out of the question. And I'm going to tell you, Sunday I think is the worst day of the 3 to go because a lot of the good stuff has already been sold and a lot of the vendors have already pulled out and left. They just don't want to stay to the very end. That's been my experience. So truthfully, if you can only go one day, I would recommend Saturday because all the vendors who are serious about it are going to be there on Saturday. Yes, you're going to have to deal with the crowds and a lot of little kids on bicycles, and you know, it's going to be a bit of a maze to wander through the event. But all in all, I had a good time. I bought a lot of stuff, and this is going to carry me through the rest of the year, probably till the next event. So guys, I'm Crazy New York Driver, and you're not. Please state your comments, questions, and concerns now, and I'll try and answer as many as I can. I definitely recommend any swap meet to guys who are in automobilia, toys, collectibles, or just anything at all, because they're a lot of fun and you can score some really good deals. Remember, I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. Thank you for watching. I'll be back later this week with at least 1 or 2 more videos. Rock on and peace!